Yeah.
Welcome to the CouncilCast. This is episode 230, being recorded on October 25th, 2022. The council is now in session, and as with every week, we will make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit.
Random shit?
With a little background and next to no expertise. All CouncilCast decisions are final and have no bearing on anything whatsoever.
Are you guys fucking with your cameras?
It's a strobe effect. It's did you install the plugin for the strobe effect?
No.
It seems like a personal question.
Strobe party.
Can I just click on my camera to turn it off and on?
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to be old school.
Your finger might get tired, but
That's what weirdos do.
Auto clicker.
Oh, hold on. That's what weirdos do. Yeah, I did it, but I turned the volume all the way down.
I was expecting an echoey weirdos.
Oh man, we're off to a great start. This is probably the best start to a CouncilCast episode ever tonight.
Best show ever.
It only took us 230 episodes to figure it out.
We've nailed it. This is
Now we've
230.
230.
Oh my god.
Yes. And at 230 episodes, we find out that the National Science Foundation will not be rebuilding the Arecibo Observatory Telescope.
I thought you were going to say they would be granting us our grant money from the proposal we filled out.
Thumbs down.
They definitely won't. But yeah, if you remember back in 2020, I think we did report on this. The Arecibo telescope got damaged when some cables fell and it got pretty messed up. And apparently at that time, I think they said they were going to rebuild it, and now they're saying, just kidding.
You know what they could do? I'm looking at this picture now. Let me share this with everyone because it's. So this is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Get a big old push broom in there, and then Tony Hawk.
Sounds like a hell of a
set up-
billionaire pitch.
Okay.
Um,
You guys ever heard of granite transformations?
No, please elaborate.
Well, they put a thin layer granite countertop over the laminate countertop, and it makes it look like it's a real granite countertop. Why can't they just put some kind of like thing over this?
They're going to. Tony Hawk is going to do it, and it's going to be where the next X Games are held.
I would like to see that. I could see him doing the X Games.
And they would say, this next X Games is going to be out of this world.
How far down is it if you go up too high and you don't spin yourself around when you do the skateboard thingy? You just go shooting right out of there.
It's called a 1080.
Well, what if you do a 1080 plus and you just go flying out of that thing? How far down is it?
Unclear.
Down to what?
About
Down to the floor of the jungle, or wherever that's at. It's pretty high
unclear.
up in the air, isn't it? Yeah.
Is this
I
where
don't
it fell?
think you'd
Oh,
be
this is
going
it falling
that
down.
high. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, that's not
Oh my
good.
gosh.
That's not so good.
The altitude is not that high, actually. It is only at 1,634 feet.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Not a problem.
It'll be fine. Well, anyway, it is Tony Hawk, I don't think, is going to be building it. They are, in fact, going to turn it into a new science center. So they are going to, you could probably fill out an RFP to build an education, STEM research, and outreach center. So there you go.
Oh my.
No
was this, I
more
forget, was this planned?
telescope. No.
How did
No,
they
that
get this
was-
footage?
They have cameras running constantly.
they don't.
This was a drone, though. This was like,
They have a drone running constantly.
I'm pretty sure
Never
that was on
lands.
one of the towers.
Never shuts
I
off.
think it was.
no, look at
I
it
think was
flying
a-
away. This is a drone shot. It literally said observatory drone. So the drone was just like hanging out here checking out stuff. Like, oh, let me just come up here and do a quick check to make sure everything's. Oh no.
Well, I think they had a cable fail, and so I think they sent the drone up to go check it out. And while it was up there, is when the rest of it fell down.
So one cable failed, and they're like, "Oh, it should probably be fine. These other cables are gonna hold. Let's go check it out and see what we can figure out." And then it just like collapsed while it was up there.
Well, it was supposed to be fine.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. That's
Hopefully they build the new science center out of something stronger. So
hopefully so.
Hopefully so.
I wonder if they'll salvage part of the dish. That'd be pretty sweet.
Sell pieces of it.
Yeah,
They should
there
make
you go.
necklaces out of it.
Yeah.
They should probably shoot it into space. Pieces into space.
A fitting journey for what it is. I'll give that
So-
a thumbs down with Dave on this one. The whole thing. It breaking, them not rebuilding it, all of it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to give it a thumbs down as well because I'm not sure that the new science center is going to be worth it.
I'm going to say thumbs down too. Yeah.
But you know what is worth it is apparently spending a boatload of money to go to the moon, which is apparently what an 82-year-old billionaire
Around the moon.
has apparently purchased on a SpaceX rocket. So on SpaceX's Starship, this guy, what is his name? Dennis Tito.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, he is in fact the original space tourist. He in 2001 became the first commercial astronaut to visit the International Space Station. So he has a history of doing this, but now 20 years later he wants to go to the moon with SpaceX, except he's 82 years old.
When's this going to happen?
We don't know.
Okay.
Do you want real timeline or Musk timeline?
I'm
Musk
just saying,
timeline
Musk timeline.
tomorrow.
Next year.
It already happened.
No, apparently it is currently slated for 2025, so I'm going to say that is Musk timeline.
That's
Well, they don't want to wait too much longer.
So yeah, if you do want to go cruise around the moon though, now you can in fact buy a ticket. So maybe you could ride with Dennis and his wife.
Jeez. And it costs $1 billion?
I think it costs more than $1 million.
No, is it a billion?
It might cost more
No,
than $1 billion.
he's just a billionaire. They didn't charge him $1 billion, but I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Do you think he pays before he takes off or upon return, successful return?
Half up front, half when he gets back.
Half up front, half when you get back.
I give it a thumbs up. I think it'd be pretty sweet to go cruising around the moon. So maybe this guy, if he's listening, Mr. Dennis, you could probably buy seats for all of us. We'd all like to go.
Mr. Dennis, if you're listening to this, let us know. We'd love to talk to you about all the ins and outs here, and also about your experience. We'd love to have you on the podcast while you're up in space. So just reach out.
That would be amazing. Do you think we could get him to do that?
Yeah, pretty easily. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I think that he will. I think he'd.
Our
sign
listener
up for
would
it.
love that.
Our listener would love that.
You know what I'm a little disappointed on though is that it says he's a billionaire, but he apparently is not on our real-time billionaires list. So
Did you look him up?
yeah, I just tried.
Wait, what's his name? Dennis Tito.
Tito.
Well,
this is
He's
he
under an
owns
alias.
Tito's vodka.
they're actually the first passengers on the second commercial flight. There is another one being financed by a Japanese billionaire
Oh
called
yeah, that's
Dear
right.
Moon. You can check their page out at dearmoon.earth. They are currently looking for 8 crew members for the mission in 2023. So head on over there, sign up. You have the CouncilCast guarantee that if you drop our names, you will get a seat.
So crew, like they need a yeoman, a cook, or that type of thing. Crew.
A bosun.
They need they need somebody to work on warp drive. They need somebody
Warp
to staff
drive.
medical bay. Yeah. They don't need any cooks because they have the they need bartenders though.
They've got too many cooks.
They have too many cooks.
Well, but I'm just saying, like they need a crew. They need a staff. They need people to cater to the billionaires that are flying around the moon. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I would be more than happy to carry the Coke tray around.
Refreshments.
Sir, would you like a fresh line?
Housekeeping, maintenance, anything. I mean, there's lots of different
Fresh
jobs.
line.
That I say thumbs up. I think it's anyone who's got enough money to go flying around in outer space should just do it and enjoy themselves. And they should come on our podcast and tell us all about it.
Right it. Yeah, come on our podcast and tell us all about it. You know what? I give that a thumbs up. I only give this a thumbs up if he comes in and tells if Dennis Tito, the fake billionaire, comes on our show, and well, he's not on the list. He's not on the real time Forbes billion. Maybe he was on. Then he had to spend so much money to get on this flight. He became not a billionaire. Do you think that's what happened? I mean, it is in real time.
That's possible. That is most likely what
That's
happened.
probably what happened. He was a $1 billionaire person. He spent $1 billion on this trip, and now he's not on the list anymore.
Well, he might have spent enough to be less than a billionaire.
I mean, even if he spent 500 mil and he was a $1 billionaire, now he's, what is it? Trace commas down to dos commas.
Dos Equis.
Matt, what's that line from Silicon Valley? Trace
Which one?
commas. Was
What
it
about
trace? What he was no longer trace commas. He was really sad about it.
He becomes Dos Commas.
Dos commas.
And he has to sell his nice car with the doors that go like this. And he's like, I'm going to have this shitty car. And the doors, still a really expensive car. I don't remember what he goes from and to. But he's mad because the doors don't do this.
Well,
Yeah,
thumbs up
so
for this
Tito,
guy.
come on our
Good for
show.
you. Bring your vodka with.
Yeah.
If you wanted to join us on our show and drink some vodka, you may be seeing a little bit of double now because Microsoft Office is no longer around.
What is it?
Microsoft is killing the Microsoft Office brand and now going to just call it Microsoft 365.
Because it does everything now.
For
Well, isn't it all cloud-based?
365 days a year. Yeah.
They're trying to push you to pay the subscription cost.
It's a good thing that they don't have millions of pirated versions of that all over the internet. Because it'd be really hard to manage then, like pushing everyone to the new model.
You can still buy Microsoft Office.
Yep.
I'm sure.
You can still buy the standalone apps.
Yeah, so Microsoft Office was what you could purchase as a standalone piece of software with the standard Office apps such as, Excel, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint. And apparently they are going to retire that branding and just switch entirely to Microsoft 365, which is their subscription service. So
I do not like Office 365.
I don't know.
no,
it's just nice to
Microsoft
look at.
365. It's much better. Trust me.
The Office
nice to look-
365 is gone.
It's gone.
It's
yeah.
It's
now
nice to look at
Microsoft.
a towering empire such as Microsoft Office and think, wow, I'm older than that. There aren't a lot of big empires that you can that up until now that I've been able to look at and go, wow, I'm older than that company that's decided that they can't exist in today's world the same way anymore.
Yeah,
I
Microsoft
think about
Office
like
was
Ford
first
and all of
released in
them
1990.
Needing bailouts and stuff, and them trying to figure out how to change their model to sell more cars or whatever. And they're way older than I am, but not Microsoft.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. I mean, there is still the option to buy Office Home and Business for $250 outright versus the subscription plan.
The thing that will be interesting about it, though, is this is something that I notice on my Mac regularly, is that there are apps that I have, even if I've paid for them outright, that the companies just stop supporting it with the new upgrades for the operating system that I'm on.
Blame Apple for not having backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
Now,
I
calm
also
down,
know
Dave. Calm down.
I also know that it's going to be an issue. They're not going to I mean, we've talked about it on our show, the number of programs that they're like, well, this version is no longer backwards compatible. They've just dropped it. They're not going to support it anymore.
Yeah.
I imagine that there's somewhere between a 2 and 5 year statute of limitations on this. 2 to 5 years of them still being willing to support it on all platforms. And then they'll just be like, hey, that version that you bought back in 2022, sorry, it just doesn't work anymore. We just don't know how to keep up with it in the, in the metaverse or whatever, because, it just doesn't work there anymore. So
like Office 2009 doesn't work on Windows 10. So
yeah,
2013
exactly.
barely works.
So that's
gonna
the
say-
thing. It's like, we'll sell it to you, but we're just basically trying to get it off our shelves so that we can make a little bit more money.
See, I'm going to say thumbs down because I just learned how all of it works, and then they change it all, and I hate that. So
I just learned how the version I bought in 1990 works.
I want the old version that I used to know how everything worked, and I knew where to click on everything, and then the next version comes out, and they change it all, and it takes you forever to go like, oh, that's where they put that stupid button.
Well, it's more
So I
intuitive
just want
now.
to keep the version that I have and use it forever in the lame ways that I use it. I don't need it for anything special.
Well, Brian, I've got a PowerBook running OS 7.2 that you can have. I'm sure you're very familiar with that. Do you want that so then everything works just fine for you?
I appreciate that, Dave. No, that's okay. I've already learned. I've learned what I've got right now. I don't want it to change. I'm just saying.
Backwards or forwards. Got it.
It's backwards or forwards. I don't care if it's even a better thing. Just leave it alone. I've figured out the workaround, and it works fine for me, just the way I figured out how to do it. So just stop changing.
I like it just the way it is.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is really a good or a bad thing. To Brian's point here, I think it's just a thing. So
It's super light and compact. It's got a trackball built in.
That is really tiny.
I even have the
What?
nice mouse to go with it.
Oh my! You should
That's
send that
fantastic.
to that dish science station they're building.
yeah, there you go.
That would be a good display feature.
A PowerBook 160.
This is what we used to power the dish. Control it.
I'm gonna give this one a thumbs down for rebranding. I'm gonna stick my neck out there and say I like the Office branding. Use Office apps for Office related things.
It's going to be
It
so
was very
confusing to
straightforward.
people.
Yeah,
I like the 360 branding because it makes me feel like
365.
I could be what?
365.
Oh, I hate it now. Thumbs down.
I know 365.
It's stupid.
5 more days.
We have to go all the way around
5
and then
more
a little bit
degrees.
farther.
5 more degrees. No, it's 365 days a year.
No, it's 365
365
degrees.
degrees in a circle.
See,
I don't.
Who's confused now?
this one,
I don't like any of this.
this one goes
now.
to 11.
I didn't like it because it changed, but now the whole thing doesn't make sense.
Most stamps they go to 10, but this one it goes to 11. Couldn't they just have made 10 a little bit louder?
You
Yeah,
don't
but no, see,
understand.
this one goes to 11.
You don't understand. I gotta turn it to 11.
365. Most most circles go 360. They go just around once, but this one just goes a little bit farther.
Our competitors give you
degrees farther.
complete 360-degree coverage, and we go the extra mile and give you 365.
Oh, we need to send that to Razik. He can sell more Office with that.
Complete coverage and more.
Speaking of complete coverage, you may have cookies in your web browser that are covering your website history. And apparently in the EU, websites may start making you pay to reject using cookies.
What?
In the US, could be next.
See,
That-
I was gonna read this article when I saw the picture of a cookie, but then I realized that it was about internet stuff, and I stopped reading it. So, can you tell us more?
So apparently, according to this article, a very popular website in Germany, Der Spiegel, which does online news, is an online news source, is apparently offering you a choice when you go to their website where you can buy a monthly subscription to not have them use cookies on you, or don't pay and you have to use cookies anyway.
Wow.
The subscription is $4.99 a month. So would
$4
you pay?
You bastard.
Yes, $4.99.
Oh, I want one.
I hope you brought enough for everybody.
It's an online nude site, and they're making you pay for cookies.
No, they're making you pay to not have cookies.
Sounds like a good business model. Online nude site, cookies. What else do you want?
I feel like this will be a feature Firefox will develop a workaround for.
Well, here's the thing, though. What I've heard, this is interesting that they're going to do this because what I've heard is Google is working on a new way to eliminate the need for cookies altogether.
Yeah, that got kiboshed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that while I eat my cookie.
I don't know specifics, but there was mass outrage across the internet because they're doing something that maybe a cybersecurity expert might be able to chime in on. But
If only we knew one.
If only we knew one.
Hey,
Matt,
they canceled their plans.
What?
do you have any idea why Google decided not to move forward with eliminating cookies and setting up their new Google?
What? No.
Did it have anything to do with this nude site? That's what I'm wondering.
I haven't been paying attention this entire time.
Well, what happened was Blaine said that there was an online nude site that was selling
I'm not
cookies,
paying
Don't
attention
freak.
now.
and somehow people are upset about it. I don't know. I'm not paying attention very well either, apparently.
So the real question is, would you pay a website? Would you pay a subscription or any fee? Would you pay any amount to a website so that you get to keep your own data and not get tracked using their cookies?
I'll tell you
Or
what I would
do you
do.
not care?
I would unplug my computer.
Brian just goes completely dark. All right.
That's it.
So the
Done.
problem
I'm
with
gonna
that
get real
is
cookies.
Throw
just-
her in the trash. Ron
I
Swanson
can-
style.
I'm gonna go get some real cookies and shut this thing off.
is the scope, like how many sites, how much money do they expect me to shell out? Like they're basically forcing you to accept cookies. That's what they're doing. Like it's the false option to pay for no cookies, because if you were
No.
trying to apply this to every site that you visit, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars.
Well,
A
maybe
month.
you're just trying to apply it to a site you don't want anyone to know you're on.
I mean, I don't care if people know that I watch porn.
Dave, I'm not
How
talking
did we
about
get
you.
here?
Oh.
Maybe you should pay attention.
Oh,
I
there
know.
we go.
And Matt went dark. Yeah, this is the same.
Is that the concept? Is that this is a site that maybe you don't want someone to know that you're on, so that
Not
or track
necessarily. I
you?
mean,
Okay.
cookies are used to do everything. So, like, if you Googled, I want to buy a new microwave, and then you're on, like, Facebook or TikTok, and all you do is you keep getting ads for fucking microwaves, and you're just like, I don't need to see microwaves everywhere. So that's a cookie that's tracking you across the site, so that everybody knows where you are.
Well, no, I get that, but I'm just saying in this particular situation in the EU, is this particular website one? I didn't know what it was.
I'm
It's a news
curious.
site.
It's a what?
They
nudes.
do
It's a nude site.
News,
Oh.
like the daily news.
That changes everything. Huh. This whole time I thought we were talking
Like-
about a nude site.
It's
Well,
like
you kept saying nude.
I know. just being a jackass.
So I
So
mean,
now,
the
is
site
this-
itself is not something that I think is a problem, but they're certainly charging you to not have them track you, basically.
Okay, so now I think I'm catching on now. So the news site only reports on nudes,
Correct. Yes.
and cookie makers across the EU are boycotting. This whole
they're
thing?
boycotting the whole thing.
Okay, I'm totally on board with this.
Here's what I'm curious about is if the EU is going to let this stand, because they have incredibly strict rules about tracking. And so I wonder if it's going to be the people who got the rule made because of the thing that they did. They're going to say, no, you have to, if you don't want cookies, you can't just reject them. You have to pay us money to reject them. And then the EU is going to come in and say, yeah, no, that completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
Or if they're
that's
going to
how
allow
I
it.
see this going down. Is that
Well, I know that you would see this as in that light, that it completely defeats the purpose, because it's the same thing that Apple does constantly. You have the choice of going and buying a not Apple device if you don't like our terms and policies, if you don't like, and if you don't like to pay us money to be on our platform, you can go be on another platform. I'm thinking about Fortnite and being on Apple, and then Apple's like, no, you need to pay us a grotesque amount of money because you're making way too much money. So you owe us money now.
and
That's
Apple
the
not
new rule.
making too much money?
And Fortnite said, yeah, we're not doing that. And they you remember the commercial that Apple did, I don't know, it's the 80s, 90s, something like that, where the person runs and throws the thing at the TV screen, and
Yep.
it's like that whole Fortnite recreated the whole thing with Fortnite characters, and they said free the, oh man, I have to find it here. Anyway, they recreate. So they were mad about that, but they're still thriving, and they're not on the platform anymore. And everyone was just like, no, we do like you enough. So, it kind of is the, it's the situation that it's the situation that creates that establishes their theory, right? That no, it is something that we could charge for these cookies, because if people don't want to pay the cookies, and if they don't want to pay to have cookies removed, then they can accept the cookies. And if they don't want to accept the cookies and they don't want to pay, then they can go to another site, because we're not forcing their hand to be here.
Yeah.
So I think that's the counter argument.
I think
see
your
that
original
being
is
as the sorry, Brian,
what's okay.
age before beauty.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that will be the initial argument that may be accepted, but
Yeah.
eventually that will become ubiquitous, and
Yeah.
every site will be applying the same type of terms. and then it'll be like, well,
Will
maybe
they though?
we can't do this.
I mean, will they? Think about all the sites that would be able to profit then from saying, we don't charge for rejecting cookies. In fact, we don't collect cookies at all, or whatever.
One, no
how are they
site is
gonna make
never
money,
not going to
though?
collect cookies.
They will if Google decides to set up their new internet.
So
Yeah, I can see.
I read this article a little bit more, and they are saying that apparently the GDPR, which is Europe's sweeping privacy policy, it
Yeah.
requires companies to obtain your consent before they collect and process your data. But apparently, the definition for that is open enough that regulators in both Austria and France have ruled that the cookie paywall model is not illegal. And so far the European Data Protection Board has not weighed in on this. They also did some research to see how much it does cost. These paywalls do exist today in Europe, and if you wanted to avoid being tracked by 13 of the most popular news sites in Austria and Germany, it would cost you $706 a year.
What?
Yeah.
To not be tracked by
What?
13
It's
websites.
gonna be interesting to see GDPR weigh in. Then I know GDPR is like some huge fines have been handed out, like related to GDPR. They can be very large, so companies treat them very seriously. But like, it's not like GDPR is not a certification; like it's a law. So like, sure, you can have audit firms come in and like audit you to your adherence to GDPR and all that stuff, but like it's kind of like HIPAA. Like HIPAA is also not like it's like HIPAA compliant. Like you're not like you would just say you're HIPAA compliant. I can start a company tomorrow and say I'm HIPAA compliant, unless somebody calls me out on it, and like then there's an
Right.
issue. Then there's like not a problem really. But you definitely, if you are saying you are compliant with GDPR or HIPAA, I mean HIPAA is a different thing because it's like an extra thing, right? Like if you're holding medical data and stuff like that. But if you're claiming a compatibility with either of those things, you really better actually be those fucking things. But it's also like very nebulous, like the companies that I've worked for, like when we get like things related to GDPR, like data, like information requests, like what do you know about me, or like the right to be forgotten is a thing in GDPR. Like you're allowed to, as a European citizen, like contact a company that you have dealings with and say, I don't want you to hold my data anymore. That's the right to be forgotten. Those requests are not like serviced at face value necessarily. Like companies can refuse to honor the request. They just have to say why. And then like it would typically end there unless somebody had the resources and financing to actually make a stink about it. Right? Like, but good luck like fighting a corporation as an individual, right? Like, although I would say like the places I've worked tend to like if we get a request that is like, I want to be forgotten, like we're going to do our best to make that happen, right? Like we have procedures for that. But a lot of the GDPR stuff is consent based. Like we have to get your consent to hold your data, and even then like we have to get specific consent about like specific use. Like it has to be very business focused to provide services to you. Like we can't just like get one little tiny piece of consent and then collect everything on you. Like so like I mean this gets bent all the time by companies and like worked around and like all that stuff, and I'm sure companies don't get called on it, and that's where you see like, I mean, go look up some of the fines handed out via GDPR. I don't remember what some of the big ones were, but they've been very large because if I remember correctly, for GDPR it's a percentage of revenue.
Yep.
Not profits, percentage of revenue. Like, don't like fact check me on that, but that's what I recall it being.
Amazon had a $823 million fine
Did they pay it
in 2021.
Put
Or
it
did
on
they fight it?
installments.
I'm sure they fought it.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, and the U.S. has stuff like this coming down the pipe. I mean, California has their thing. I don't remember what the U.S. version of GDPR is called anymore, but there is something coming down the pipe that is attempting to do something similar. California is actually, last I saw, like they don't like the national version because it would squash the state version and not allow the state to dictate. And the national version is like less restrictive than what California wants theirs to be, or
Yeah, so
California's is.
Right. So I think to your point there is, I mean, they're like the companies in Europe, you have to get consent before you collect the
You
data.
have to
It's
do
kind
it
of-
here. If you want,
Right.
if you are a company that wants to do business in any way in Europe
Yeah,
with
yeah.
European citizens, like I've worked it in multiple places. This is the case. You have to care about GDPR.
Right.
I mean, you don't
Where
have
in
to,
the US,
but then the clock is ticking, right? Like,
right. But the difference is GDPR requires consent. The US laws currently do not require you get consent. Like
right.
it's,
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference, and that's kind of why they're allowed. They're
At
going down
current
this
state,
path of
like
monetized.
the,
Yeah.
nationally,
Currently
the
today.
like they've got stuff coming through the legislature that I believe would move us closer to the European model. Obviously, not as far, but closer.
And that's what they're saying is that if that stuff like that comes, we could start seeing paywalls popping up in the U.S. for
So I
sites.
missed that part because I suck and I didn't care about what you were talking about. What is the paywall? I hadn't heard about this. Like what do you mean
the
paywalls?
paywall? They will. It's if you pay the site, they will not track you with cookies.
But that's why does that have to exist as a thing in Europe? They already like the
Because I'm guessing in Europe they're getting more people declining the cookie acceptance, and so they're not getting money.
But if you're not
online
getting
only.
but if you're not getting consent, what's the deal with the pay thing?
So
Isn't
your-
that just
your
an
option-
automatic violation?
Your option is accept cookies or pay to not have cookies. You don't.
Yep.
Oh,
so
that-
if you
those are
so they're trying to say that nowhere in GDPR does it say we have to do it for free.
yes.
correct.
That sounds like a good way to get fucking like a
But the
country to
GDPR people
shove their
haven't-
hand way up your butthole.
But
I
the-
should send this article. I'm sure the person at work that is into this privacy stuff has already seen this, so I should send it to them and be like, "Yo, what's your take on this?"
Right, and so by having the strict laws,
This
is what's
sounds
causing them to go down that path.
It sounds like extortion to me. If you want my hot take, that's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, I think we all agree.
Like, oh, there's a law that mandates that we must have your consent. Oh, here, let me lay it out even cleaner for you. I can either rape you, or you can give me $20.
Basically,
You're
Yeah,
forgetting
it's
the third
basically the
option, which is
same, right?
walk away.
Well, yeah.
Ridiculous. Like this at first glance, that sounds completely ridiculous. Like it's extortion.
well, it is. That's in like I said,
And it makes
websites
me wonder,
exist-
like, how did GDPR not think of this? Because they probably thought nobody would have like the audacity to like say something like that or try. Like that's pretty bold of the people that are charging to not collect. Because
Yep.
So is it like actually specifically called out? Like the people that are doing that are saying like nowhere in the rule book does it say we can't charge.
Yeah, they're basically saying that.
But like if you want me to play devil's advocate, which I love fucking doing, I love trying to play the other side. So if I'm on the other side, I could totally see trying to make an argument that GDPR is prohibitively expensive. Like adhering to it,
Mhm.
like there are non-zero businesses in the US probably. I can't name any for you, but there has to be a business somewhere that has chosen to not provide services to European
name one.
citizens. Okay, see, that have chosen to not provide European citizens services because they do not want to have to mess with GDPR, whether it be cost-based or just philosophically based, anything like that, because it does cost real money. Like maybe you need an extra auditor, or maybe you need whatever. Maybe you have to bring an audit firm, whatever. So like there is a real argument to be made for we should be allowed to charge more, like in that case. But it kind of strikes me as a bullshit argument, my own argument, because like if that is the playing field for everyone, is that like it is a law saying this is the baseline like humanity you must provide to somebody, right? Like that's the point of GDPR. It seems shitty to try to do this pay thing, but like I just wanted to argue the other side for a minute. Like it's not like there aren't arguments there. Like it does cost
when
real
you look
money.
At the amount of money
it costs us real money as a company to care about GDPR. I guarantee you it does. Like because every moment spent trying to process a thing for GDPR is a moment spent not doing something else.
Well, it's not even those costs; it's the costs lost because they can't sell your data to people when they built their whole business model.
But it depends on what it is. Like a company, I guess I can't say this sweepingly because I don't know for sure. But like the companies I have worked for, our business model is not selling the data we collect on you. Sure. I would be shocked to find out if we did that. I guess like maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I guess I don't really know. I don't live in like privacy like data selly land. So
these news outlets specifically though are the types of websites that have 1,000 ads all over them.
Yeah, you want that data. Yeah, like business to business places and business to consumer. Like yeah. But like look at other places. Like I've worked at business to business type places, like B2B, not B2C. So, but if you're at like a B2C shop, that's someplace that like the individual customer base like data set is like wildly useful, right? Like if you've got
it is, and that's where when you get
like
on
Uber there, like spending patterns and like Uber, probably again conjecture and just like making shit up for the sake of example. Like they have like travel data on like all these people, like that could be like some other firm might want that, right? Like they might want to use that data set to provide some other service or target some ad at those users.
They've got ages and spending habits.
Yep.
But the company I worked for, this was before GDPR went into effect. They were actively looking for ways to offload their European clientele because they didn't want to.
What's stopping Uber from legit so say like I call an Uber to take me downtown Des Moines to a bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's Uber can know, like all of this is easy, like from a like how do you figure this out? Like what's stopping them from just chucking ads at me, like neighboring bars buy ads for people going to that bar instead?
Well, they can because it's not in
like they could totally. I know. I'm just saying, like this is the type of data like that would be useful. Like Uber, could make it so that competing like locations in the area can buy ad space to people that are going to like this one. So you're like, look, I got an ad for $5 off your first drink at the place next door. Let's hit that place up first.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would totally fucking work.
I'm sure that it is. I'm sure they're already doing that.
Do they? I don't know.
That's kind of like Walmart.
I don't Uber except from like airports to hotels. So I don't know.
That's like the exact same thing that people or businesses have to do with Google. Like Walmart will buy the ad space for the keyword Walmart, because if another company bought it, like if Target bought the ad space for the keyword Walmart,
that's like ad squatting. I don't know if there's like actual terms for that. I'm sure there are like industry terms. Is that a bunch of bike tires in your office?
Oh yeah,
that's funny. I just noticed. Anyway,
well, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
That's my
I don't like it. Like, I might read something about it and then decide that I like it, but I don't like it at first glance. And because this is a council cast, I don't have to go do more research. That's what's nice about it.
That is exactly true. Well, if you wanted to visit Europe and enjoy GDPR for your own benefits and wanted to fly virtual first class, you can now simulate your flight there with a flight simulator of being a passenger.
I thought this was Brian's idea.
Have you guys heard about my idea to have virtual first class?
There it is.
Well, so this is similar but opposite. You actually don't go anywhere, but you can pretend to go somewhere instead.
Oh, you got to start somewhere.
Can we get the simulated two very large people? So when I sit in the middle section, I've got two very large people that overflow into my center seat. As an
I'm
individual.
sure he could sell you something to do that. Yes.
Is this like a group
Oversized
game,
teddy
like
bears.
the 5 of us get together and one of us is the pilot and the other 4 are like passengers that just get bad service or
Wait,
or
don't
have to...
didn't you have something about like crowdsourcing piloting? Like you could pilot from the virtual headset, and so they didn't have pilots, and everybody. It's like
might
Twitch
have
plays
said
airplane.
Oh yeah,
Fly
pilot,
an airplane.
yeah, I did say that.
Except it's everybody on the plane that's virtually that chooses how to fly the plane.
Yeah, I'm just impressed that this guy was able to get so many parts of a leftover airplane that he had enough things to build a simulated cockpit in his
Yeah,
house.
he's on a watch list now.
So you can look out this window right over here.
Oh, look, I
No,
can
some
see the
people are just
engines.
really into this. They're just like simulation nerds.
I bet he's German.
Oh my god, he puts screens in the windows to display.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's commitment.
It's pretty legit.
Does the air work? Is that what he's proving?
He will in a
With the
second.
little
I'm
streamer
assuming
thingy?
so.
He's proving that it works as well as it does on a plane.
Wow. Are there oxygen masks?
I didn't see any pop down yet.
Yeah, so apparently the overhead panel works. You can turn on the fans, the lights, and even request assistance from the cabin crew with a button press that plays the familiar bing bong sound effect.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Amazing.
Apparently, when you press the call button, it will trigger an assistance required message that plays through all of the Google Assistant compatible devices in his house.
Why?
So he can not only annoy himself, but everybody else in his house.
He lives alone.
Well,
He
He's
does
doing it
now.
to annoy the cats.
I'm gonna say thumbs up for commitment to a hobby. Nice job.
You know, I would say I'm gonna say thumbs down because he only has one row of airline seats, and if he really wanted to commit to making the worst experience possible, he needs to have a second row right in front of him that's literally on his knees with some dude like with
And a
in the
third row
recliner seat.
directly behind him with a crying baby.
Yes,
Or
there
somebody
you go.
behind them with the feet going through the sticking their
Or-
feet up along the side.
Oh god. The feet on the armrest, on your armrest.
Yes.
Well, I give it a thumbs up too. Nice job, buddy.
Way to go. Well, if you're on your fake airplane and you want to smell like repugnant desire, you can now buy the scent from Elon Musk.
Like 30,000 bottles. He
I
could
mean,
put
he's trying to
his
sell this so he can buy Twitter, so you know.
Elon Musk
What is wrong with him?
needs to
Thumbs
sell
down.
like needs to pull the bathwater bullshit, and he would sell out instantly.
He apparently it smells like your head is on fire. It is called burnt hair and is described as being the essence of repugnant desire. So
And
I
the
cannot
finest
think of a
fragrance on
worse
Earth.
thing to buy.
And also the finest fragrance on earth. So I'm giving it a thumbs up because anything that can be both the essence of repugnant desire and the finest fragrance on earth, it has to be a miracle elixir. You didn't hear it here, but you should definitely don't do this. Drink this stuff. It's good for you.
Really drink
What?
it.
Why does he do this? Why does he do these weird things? Because he's got
Because
money.
he can make money off of it.
because
Ugh.
he's got a cult that will buy anything that puts his name on. There are people
Too
that
much time
will
on
buy
Thursday.
anything that has Elon or Tesla.
And to
just
think
to
we gave
collect
him
it.
all
They
of
have
those great
shrines.
business ideas, and this isn't even one of them.
Dude, I brought the cult thing up in the CNN business interview. The guy wanted to do with me, like just a call about
Yeah.
the Rivian ownership experience so far and taking it and stuff like that. We kind of got onto the cult of Elon because he was asking like what other stuff I'd had, what did I have ordered, and I said like I had the Ford and the Tesla stuff ordered, I had the Cybertruck, and I canceled the Cybertruck, and I ordered a Model S in that time too, and canceled it too once Elon went crazy. He's like, oh yeah, like how do you feel more? Like tell me more about that. Like Elon's like craziness, like because it actually caused you to cancel like two vehicles basically. Like what's the deal there? I'm like, I don't know, man. He's just kind of nuts now. Like. Let me tell you about our podcast where it's not Elon Musk pitches anymore. Like he kind of I should have said that. He kind of lost his
a new
yeah.
listener.
He's like, do you not see the same thing in like the Rivian space, like the cult of personality type thing? I'm like, I mean, like there's always gonna be some level of like early adopters defending the product and the company, but like it doesn't feel as bad as like it does with the Tesla people because you've got the Tesla people, like you've got people like that, but then you've got the people that are like piling on because they're also Elon bros, right? Like which is worse. Like so like the two things compounded make it feel worse. Like nobody is like defending RJ, like there's no cult of RJ Scarnage. like that
I don't
Not
know
yet.
the name.
right,
RJ
exactly.
Scarnage.
Right. Well, that's fair. They're a smaller company, but it's
There are
like,
a lot
I
of
knew
people.
but you
who
know what a
Elon Musk,
Rivian
but
is.
yeah.
Yeah, but I knew the name Elon Musk before
Yeah.
a Tesla
Well,
came to market.
Sure. I think it's probably an
Sure.
unfair comparison, but
Because he markets himself as a personality.
It's interesting.
And
because
RJ
Musk
doesn't.
is a fragrance.
no, Musk is the brand, like arguably, right? And with Rivian, RJ is not the brand. Like he's had a hand in defining that brand of like, adventure and like we're pushing like the outdoorsy stuff, but that's a lot of what you would argue Tesla is Elon as a face. Like
Do you think that he refused to put Musk on the bottle of perfume because it would be too on the nose?
I'm not sure which
why
part
not?
of that is the joke.
I
To
know.
be honest, on the nose, must like I don't
I
know
would've
where
gone
you
with-
were going with that. Is it
I'm
all
not
the
sure why you
joke?
would have done
It's all
burnt
the
hair. I
joke.
would have gone with a musk smell as well.
Yeah.
It's which is sad and weird at this point because like, I mean, despite the comments and like posts and /r/ like real Tesla, like also take their comments with a grain of salt. Like they live to hate on Tesla basically. So I like read both subreddits for that nice middle ground. But I feel like Tesla doesn't need Elon at this point. The market would react super negatively if he wasn't at the company anymore, probably, like because I think market believes that like he is the reason they money. And maybe it is, but like nobody that I know that bought a Model 3 bought it because Elon. Like, despite my copy of his biography up there, like I had that before he went completely insane. Like, and it was an interesting read, but it's just so weird. I would love to know if Tesla could make it without him now. Like, they're big enough now and they're popular, right? Like, I feel like once you've got like people, like they literally can't make him fast enough.
I
They-
think
they would
Tesla
definitely
probably
take-
is past that. I don't think SpaceX would survive without him though.
I think they would.
SpaceX would
I don't know
survive
I don't know
better if he
enough
went to
about
Mars.
SpaceX, so I don't. Yeah, everybody's like, let's get on Mars. I don't know enough about. Why do you say SpaceX wouldn't? Like, what makes you say that?
It still feels like, I mean, it feels like he doesn't necessarily have a hand in the day-to-day operations at Tesla
he
anymore as much as
does.
he.
Not or Tesla.
feels as much as
Yeah,
he does
Tesla.
at SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX is
SpaceX-
very much involved in
Yeah,
the day-to-day
I think he's
operations,
probably
to a
like,
detriment.
if I had to guess, I would say he's probably just way less interested in Tesla now. Like, SpaceX is the more interesting, like, thing. Like Tesla is really like, they did it right. Like, it's over. Like, it's a solved problem. Like, he went out there and he conquered the electric car market. Like, as much as you can as a new company, and like win the game, right? Like, you know, that doesn't mean that like Ford or Chevy or somebody here, that like, if they can mass produce these things, will just absolutely make Tesla's sales look silly. But that's not happening yet, right? Like, our like the Model Y is the most selling electric vehicle in the United States, correct? Like, pure electric.
Oh yeah.
I would
Yeah.
assume.
I mean,
I think that's
for
the
sure.
last thing I saw.
I mean, I think Tesla's probably the top 5 cars.
Right.
I would
So,
disagree.
I
with
mean,
you.
your options
Tesla.
aren't like plentiful right now. Like, they're definitely getting better. Like, you've got a Pulsar 2.
Mhm.
The Pulsar just announced the 3, which looks amazing. Like, I looked at that and I'm like, I want one of those too. Like, it looks nice.
So here's the top 3 from
Electric
2021
only.
of full electric.
Can I guess? Can I
Sure.
try to guess? Wait, from 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
Ooh.
The 2022 numbers aren't out yet.
So all of 20, I was maybe thinking of the latest quarters. 2021, I think I would still go Y3, and that where I get stuck is I don't know what to put in third place.
Probably the X.
You think so? They sell
That'd
that
be my
many?
guess. Sure.
Yeah, okay, let's
You
go
think
with
they
that.
sell
I
more
would go
S's?
SUV over S. So I want to go that order.
Number 3 is the Mach E
Oh, I forgot about the Mach.
at 27,140 units
For the whole year. That's
for the whole year.
The Y has sold a ton.
So number 2 is the 3 at 128,600.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like,
So
not that,
that
I mean,
is-
but in the grand scheme of car sales, that is a pitiful number.
And
Like
the
like
Y,
the F-150 sells like 1 million a year or some
Yeah.
bullshit like that.
and the Y is 172,700.
Yeah,
So-
I forgot. I can't believe I forgot about the Mach.
So the number 2 has sold like 5 times as many as the number 3,
Right.
closer to 4 times. But
So that's the example of like Tesla is just, they have the head start on brand and want around it, you know, and whether that's just the combination of everything, right? Like their charging network, all of it.
and the F-150 in 2021 continued to be the number 1 selling vehicle in America at 726,000.
How many did they sell?
units.
How many did they sell in 2019? Because 2020 and 2021 are COVID. How many did they do in 2019?
896,000.
Okay, so
526.
I was expecting a bigger difference. I would have said that it wouldn't surprise me if they sold like 1 million in 2019. But yeah, that's a lot. So I mean, they're 7x off, right? Basically 6x off
Mhm.
of the top selling. Like, but that's
And that-
but from an electric car perspective, like if you're looking at just like electric car, like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they hold the top 2 spots. Like, I mean, I guess it wasn't difficult when you were the only one making a car that anybody wanted anyway. It was all electric. But I mean, Chevy did the Bolt, but I assume that's minuscule sales compared to everything else.
I usually win the board game Monopoly when I own all of the properties.
Yeah.
I win when I'm the banker.
It was funny. Like I made a statement.
What are these pink 50s? Grandma, you cheating whore.
The guy at CNN was like, I'm gonna back you up. Like, why did you just say what you just said? I said something like, like if you made me pick right now, like I gotta put my money on who's gonna be selling the most electric vehicles in like 10 years. Like, I'm not picking Rivian with their pickup and their SUV.
It's going to be
Like
GM.
that's probably, I was speaking more from like a pickup perspective. So
Oh,
I went the Ford route, but from the electric only perspective, I think you're right. Like GM is the only one in the US that has really shown that they are caring. Like they did it with the Volt, they did the Bolt. The problem is though is that they are getting beat by even Ford with the Mach, and like they're getting beat to the market with the truck, with the F-150, and the Ford's got the F-150 name brand going for them, right? So I told the guy, like, if we're just talking trucks, like it's not the Rivian that's going to sell a ton of, like, they're going to sell every one they make, but they're not going to sell a million of them, like, 5 years from now. The F-150 might, if they can make that many.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, the thing is that Chevy has already announced a Silverado, an Equinox, the Blazer.
I knew the Silverado, I didn't know the other things. So like they're going.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it depends if you count all of GM's brands or if you're just looking at Chevys. So I mean, GM has, they've already got Buicks that they're announcing. They've already got Cadillacs. They've already got, I don't know, probably something else out there that I'm not thinking of.
So Linus Tech Tips on one of their channels has been doing electric car reviews. Like they've driven a Lucid Air.
They did a Taycan, and I was like, oh man, that makes me jealous. I would love to have a Taycan.
I mean, they got their hands on a Lucid Air, the Mercedes, the BMW.
What did they think of the Air?
Way too expensive, and
it is a very expensive car.
I think it's Jake didn't like it.
Jake is the taller.
Not Jake.
Jake is the heavier set one.
Yeah. But they did a Bolt this week or last week.
Oh, did they? The Bolt's a pretty good value for the money. I don't know about in Canada.
It's too expensive in Canada, is what he said.
Really? Oh, that sucks. Because in the US, it's a nice vehicle.
He said it's like, this is the most generic car you will ever buy.
It's just a GM. Like,
but he was like, car. He was like, holy shit, this is one of the best electric cars I've ever driven.
It's the electric car for people that aren't into electric cars, right? like
he said the one of the things he complains about the most in all of the electric cars are the infotainment systems. Like they are just junk across the board, and Chevy's just works. Like I don't know how they did it or why it's different. It does what it's supposed to do, and there's nothing fancy about it. It works. But because I think they start at like 70 or 34 in the States.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not cheap cars, but they're not super expensive. In the States. If I didn't want the ability to like have more hauling capacity and stuff like that, and like range, the Bolt would be fantastic option.
Like it doesn't have great acceleration. It doesn't.
No, that's what I said. It's like it's the non-sports car for. But like I don't want that. I'm also a car guy. I want the Taycan. I want the LOL 4-motor Rivian. I want the stuff that is ridiculous.
The Bolt EV starts at 25.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot they have the weird line now. Like they've got the Bolt and the Bolt EV or whatever the hell.
The Bolt EV is 25. The Bolt EUV. I don't know what the.
I mean, by comparison, what's a Polestar cost? What's a 2 cost? Not the super decked out version, but what are they starting at?
I think they're like 50 something.
Yeah, I would have ballparked it at 50 or 60.
And it still gets 259 miles.
Yeah, 49,800 for a Polestar 2 base model.
And that's gonna be nicer in the inside. It's gonna feel nicer.
Yeah, it'll feel nicer than the Bolt.
I haven't been in a Polestar, but it just visually looks nicer. Like the Bolt is like one of those still verging on like, why do they have to make all electric cars look goofy? At least the Polestar looks like normal.
Like a normal car.
Yeah. Like it's like you can tell it's something different and that's what they're going for, but it doesn't look like you made it goofy.
Stereotypical electric
Yeah,
car.
yeah,
Like,
like you didn't stand it out too much.
Like the i8 or something like that.
Yeah. Or like any of the like eco boxes that like you think of in the
Yeah.
past that went too crazy on the styling and had like it's like, well, they made that car look like a dweeb.
Huge bulbous pillars and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Huge bulbous pillars would be a
Speaking of
great
huge
band
bulbous
name.
pillars. I'm still giving a thumbs up to burnt hair. So
I'm giving it thumbs. I'm giving 2 thumbs down to burnt hair.
If it were a burnt hair musk, I would have said yes, but it's not.
It's a thumbs
Well, with that,
down.
we're gonna move on to our billionaire pitches for the week. And my pitch, I'll go first, is for Mr. 782, Ernst Garcia, who got his fortune from used cars, and that's why I think he's a perfect candidate for my pitch tonight, which is he should come up with a way to shrink cars on command when you are in a traffic jam so that cars can drive a lot faster. And then you can enlarge them again when you get out of the congestion area.
Embiggen them.
Yeah, is
Embiggen them,
enlarging
yep.
them,
engorge them.
engorging them. But
You want him to become a wizard and cast enlarge and reduce on cars.
I mean, I don't care how he does it. I'm just saying he's got to figure it out. Maybe it's a transformer.
I like
I don't
the
know.
shrinking part.
I like the shrinking part too.
The enlarging part needs some work, but I'm still on board with it. Thumbs up.
So, I have an idea, but I don't know which billionaire
Do
to pitch
you?
it to. I do.
It's already
I
been thought
don't
of.
think that they should turn the. I'm trying to find it here. The observatory into an education center. I think they need to turn the observatory back into a full functioning observatory. So I think that a couple billionaires, or maybe one, whatever, should just
Brian
they have to
P.
tear
Science aficionado.
the whole thing down and build a new one, or fix the old one.
Every billionaire just takes like $250,000, puts it into a fund, and there you've got a brand spanking new.
Steph
Observatory.
Wertheimer and family, they're into metalworking tools. I think they might be able to rebuild this, or at least they would have the tools to get it done.
There you go.
There
What
you go.
numbers? What number is she?
He is 374.
374. All right. That'll work.
I have a pitch for every billionaire,
That's
and that is to give me $1,000. It is essentially a rounding error on their finances.
You know what? I'll give it a thumbs up if you'll split it with me 50-50.
Deal.
How much money was that?
I mean,
$1,000
Oh,
From-
$1,000.
yeah,
from
I'm
each
fine with Dave
billionaire.
getting more money, but he's thinking too small time. I would think that it would be $1 million from each billionaire. That seems like a more appropriate amount. So I'm going to say
They might notice
thumbs
a
up
billion
if you
missing.
change it to $1 million.
I'll bump it up to 10K.
$1 million, Dave.
No,
Yeah,
I
then
am.
thumbs
I can
down.
take the thumbs. It hurts, Brian, but it's something I'm willing to take. And I'll split it 50-50 with Silas.
Yay.
How many billionaires are on the list?
Right now I'm at 1,200. There are a lot
don't know
in
how many are on the
the
list.
$2 billion range.
It's a pretty long list. Let's put it that way.
That's really long.
All right. Anybody else have a pitch? Silas?
Yeah, I do. I was just trying to find who I'm going to pitch it to. I'm just about down there. I want to reach out to a 1 billionaire. So I'm trying to figure out.
Oh,
who I
here.
can-
There is 2,412.
Oh, you got down to the bottom?
Yes, I just ranked it instead of top to bottom, bottom to top. Except I don't understand this one because his net worth is $0.6 billion. He just lost $480 million.
Oof.
Oh my.
Silas, you're looking at about $12 million coming your way.
Yay!
He
I
lost
might
it,
have I might
or
be able to figure out something to do with that.
Well, his net worth just went down. He just lost almost 42.6% of his net worth. So,
What did he buy?
well, he is in banking and he's from Russia. So,
Oh, that makes more sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, here we go. I'm almost there. I'm just gonna pick somebody because we're near the bottom. Here's 2,000. You know what? This person seems like a good option. Antonio Percassi. He's from Italy.
Why did you have to do that?
Pronounce his name properly? I don't know.
Yeah,
Why?
proper.
I don't know. So I'd like to pitch that he also buy a ticket for $1 billion to go on the
Yo.
space flight with the Cheetos guy, and then they can both no longer be billionaires and both get to go to space. He also looks old, so they'll have probably something to talk about. Like they're
That's a good idea.
not being able to pee right anymore, getting up in the middle of the night. and stuff.
Silas, that's the feel-good pitch of the night. Good job.
It does feel like that.
I just wanted Tito to have a friend because that his wife is not going to be happy about being up there. It's
I think
just going to be
she's
one of those
going with him.
vacations. It's going to be like any other vacation for them where she's going to say, the food wasn't good. You weren't good conversation. I didn't like anything that we did. Why did we choose to go on this trip? Why do you always get to pick the trips? I just want Tito to have a friend. And
why do you
Percassi-
fund all the trips?
Yeah. Why do you fund all the trips? How dare you? So, just looking out for our good buddy Tito.
There you go. All right, thumbs up for that. Good on spreading the holiday cheer. Maybe you can buy it as a Christmas gift. I don't know.
The holiday cheer. Why not?
All right, Matt, you got a pitch for us this week?
No.
All right. With that, we're going to call this council meeting adjourned. Thank you for listening. We record this podcast live Tuesday nights on YouTube. And if you like what you saw and want to check out all past episodes of the CouncilCast, you can go to councilcast.org or search for us on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. If you have a topic you would like the council's decision on, you can email us at IDon'tCare@councilcast.org or connect with us on Twitter at RealCouncilCast or on Reddit /CouncilCast. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.